If one person's words can ruin your whole day, you are not calm, you are controlled. If one problem can make you lose yourself, your mind is not trained, it is available to everything. The world does not need to become quieter. You need to become stronger inside. Because the storm is not the real danger. The real danger is a mind that obeys every storm. You are not disturbed because the world is loud. You are disturbed because your mind has been trained to answer every noise. One message, and your chest tightens. One delay, and your thoughts become wild. One insult, and your peace leaves your body as if it never belonged to you. Look honestly at this. If a stranger can change your breath, if a memory can steal your sleep, if a person's silence can rule your whole day, then you are not calm yet. You are only quiet when nothing touches you. A calm mind is not proven in a calm room. It is proven when pressure arrives, and you do not become pressure. It is proven when someone misunderstands you, and you do not rush to defend your image. It is proven when fear knocks, and you do not immediately hand it the keys. It is proven when anger rises, and you can feel the fire without throwing it at everyone near you. This is the training. Not escape, not pretending, not smiling while the storm is hidden inside. Real calm is the power to stay awake while the storm passes through. Most people want peace as if peace is a gift from the world. They wait for the perfect day, the perfect relationship, the perfect job, the perfect amount of money, the perfect apology, the perfect explanation from the past. This is a weak bargain. If your peace depends on perfect conditions, your peace will always be delayed. Life does not become gentle first. You become steady first. The mountain does not ask the wind to become kind. The mountain learns to stand. You must understand something uncomfortable. Your mind is not naturally obeying you right now. It has been trained by repetition. Every time you reacted, you trained reaction. Every time you worried for hours, you trained worry. Every time you checked your phone to escape discomfort, you trained escape. Every time you replayed an insult, you trained suffering. Do not call this personality. It is conditioning. And what has been conditioned can be retrained. The first step is to stop believing every thought. A thought is not a command. A thought is not a prophecy. A thought is not truth simply because it is loud. The mind can produce fear while you are safe, anger while silence would help, shame while you are learning, and doubt while you are growing. If you obey every thought, you become a servant to your own noise. You must learn to watch the thought before you become the thought. When anger appears, say inside yourself, anger is here, but anger is not my master. When fear appears, say fear is here, but fear is not my future. When sadness appears, say sadness is here, but sadness is not my whole life. These words are not decoration, they create distance. Distance creates choice. Choice creates freedom. Without distance, you are dragged. With distance, you can decide. The pause is where your strength begins. Before you answer, breathe. Before you send a message, breathe. Before you judge, breathe. Before you make a decision from a wounded place, breathe. The breath is simple, but do not mistake simple for weak. The breath is a rope thrown into the storm. It pulls the wandering mind back into the body. One slow breath can stop one foolish word. One foolish word can destroy trust, dignity, and years of effort. A trained person does not remove emotion. A trained person removes slavery to emotion. You can feel anger and still choose respect. You can feel fear and still move forward. You can feel pain and still avoid becoming cruel. You can feel disappointment and still act with dignity. This is not suppression. Suppression hides the fire until it burns the house later. Mastery sees the fire, contains it, and uses its heat for discipline. Look at your daily life. You say you want calm, but you feed the mind noise from the moment you wake up. You give your first attention to other people's lives, other people's opinions, other people's drama, other people's success. Then you wonder why your inner world is crowded. The first battle of the day is not against work, family, money, or society. The first battle is against the impulse to abandon yourself before the day even begins. Do not touch the phone before you touch your breath. Do not enter the world before you enter yourself. Sit upright, feel the body. Let the first few breaths belong only to you. This is not a small ritual. It is a declaration. It says, my mind will not be rented out before I have even awakened. If you give the first hour of your day to distraction, do not be surprised when your whole day feels scattered. Calmness requires boundaries. Not only boundaries with people, but boundaries with your own habits. You must say no to useless arguments, no to late night overthinking, no to conversations that poison your focus, no to checking what hurts you, no to repeating stories that keep you weak. A person without boundaries calls chaos compassion, attachment love, and self-betrayal kindness. Stop lying to yourself in beautiful words. Some people will not like your calmness. They benefited from your reaction. They knew how to press a button and get energy from you. When you stop reacting, they may accuse you of being cold, distant, proud, or changed. Let them speak. A person who loses control over you will often mistake your self-respect for arrogance. You do not need to explain your peace to those who only understood your chaos. But do not use calmness as a mask. Do not pretend to be peaceful while resentment grows in secret. False calm is only delayed explosion. Real calm is honest. It can say, this hurt me, without hatred. It can say no without guilt. It can say I need space without drama. It can leave a room without trying to punish everyone in it. Calmness is not silence at all costs. Calmness is right action without inner poison. When life creates pressure, ask one question. What is the next correct action? Not the most dramatic action. Not the action that proves you are right. Not the action that wins applause. The next correct action. Sometimes it is silence. Sometimes it is work. Sometimes it is apology. Sometimes it is walking away. Sometimes it is sleep. Sometimes it is beginning again with no audience and no emotional reward. You make life heavier by turning every moment into a story about yourself. Someone does not reply and the mind says, I am not valued. Someone criticizes you and the mind says, I am failing. A plan changes and the mind says, nothing works for me. Stop shrinking reality into your wound. There are many explanations beyond the one that attacks your worth. A calm mind does not rush to the darkest interpretation. Question your stories. Ask, is this true? Ask, do I know it fully? Ask, what else could this mean? Ask, what response would protect my future? These questions slow the old pattern. The old pattern wants speed. Trigger, reaction, regret. Trigger, reaction, regret. Trigger, reaction, regret. Awareness inserts space. In that space, your old self loses control and your trained self begins to speak. Your body is part of the training. You cannot keep the body tense and demand the mind to be peaceful. Relax the jaw, lower the shoulders, unclench the hands. Feel your feet, lengthen the exhale. The body is always teaching the mind. If the body acts like danger is everywhere, the mind will search for danger everywhere. If the body learns steadiness, the mind slowly follows. When conflict appears, do not begin with words. Begin with posture. Stand or sit as if you are responsible for the energy you bring into the room. Keep your voice slower than your anger wants. Keep your eyes clear. Do not let your tongue run ahead of your wisdom. Many people lose power because they speak too quickly. A few seconds of restraint can protect years of respect. You must also train the way you handle discomfort. Most people run from discomfort instantly. They scroll, eat, complain, chase, blame, or sleep. Anything to avoid sitting with what is inside. But if you never sit with discomfort, you remain afraid of it. Sit with it long enough to discover that it rises, changes, and passes. Anxiety is not forever. Anger is not forever. Shame is not forever. You are the space in which they appear. This does not mean you do nothing. It means you stop acting from panic. Stillness first, then action. If muddy water is shaken, it cannot become clear. Your mind is the same. You shake it with fear, argument, imagination, and old memories, then demand clarity. Stop shaking the bowl. Let the mud settle. When the mind clears, the next step becomes easier to see. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your future from your mood. It protects your peace from your impulses. It protects your purpose from your excuses. Without discipline, every feeling becomes a king. With discipline, feelings become visitors. They may enter, but they do not rule the house. This is why small promises matter. Keep one promise to yourself today, and you rebuild inner trust. Do not start with a fantasy of changing everything. Start with one promise so small your excuses look foolish. 10 minutes of silence. 1 page read, 1 walk, 1 clean meal, 1 hour without distraction, 1 conversation without defensiveness. Keep it, then keep another. Confidence does not come from imagining a strong future. Confidence comes from evidence that you do what you say. Many people are anxious because they do not trust themselves. They have broken too many inner promises. They said they would stop but continued. They said they would begin but delayed. They said they would respect themselves but returned to what humiliated them. After enough betrayals, the mind becomes nervous around its own owner. Rebuild trust through kept promises, not dramatic declarations. The world will keep testing your access points. If praise owns you, criticism will break you. If comfort owns you, difficulty will weaken you. If approval owns you, rejection will control you. If the past owns you, the present will never be free. Identify what owns you. Be honest. Whatever you cannot risk losing has power over your breathing. Whatever controls your breathing controls your choices. Detachment does not mean you do not care. It means you care without becoming chained. Love deeply, but do not make another person the owner of your peace. Work fully, but do not make results the owner of your worth. Build your future, but do not let uncertainty steal the present moment. Hold life with open hands. Closed fists get tired quickly. You will lose things. Accept this. People change, plans fail, seasons end, bodies age, roles disappear, and praise fades. The mind becomes chaotic when it demands permanence from an impermanent world. When you understand that everything moves, you stop clinging so violently. You appreciate without gripping. You act without panic. You love without possession. You release without collapse. A calm mind is also careful with speech. Words are seeds. If you speak complaint all day, do not expect peace to grow. If you speak fear all day, do not expect courage to grow. If you speak hatred all day, do not expect softness to survive. Speak less, but speak cleaner. Let your words pass 3 gates. Is it true? Is it useful? Is it the right time? If not, silence may be wiser. Silence is not weakness. Silence can be a blade. It can cut the chain between trigger and reaction. It can protect dignity. It can expose foolishness without joining it. But silence should not be cowardice. If truth must be spoken, speak it. Speak without poison. Speak without performance. Speak to clarify, not to dominate. Speak from the center, not from the wound. You must stop confusing intensity with importance. Not every strong feeling deserves strong action. Not every urgent thought is urgent truth. The nervous system can ring alarms for imagined dangers. Slow down. Ask what is real, what is assumed, and what is useful. This habit alone can save you from many unnecessary battles. Your environment matters. Do not be arrogant and say nothing affects you. Everything you consume shapes the mind. The music, the videos, the conversations, the people, the rooms, the routines, the accounts you follow, the words you repeat. If you sit in noise all day, silence will feel foreign. If you sit with complaint all day, gratitude will feel fake. Choose your inputs like you are feeding a sacred fire. Some relationships are not relationships. They are emotional gyms where you keep lifting the same wound. You argue, forgive without change, return, suffer, repeat, and call it loyalty. This is not loyalty. This is attachment to a familiar injury. Calmness sometimes requires leaving the room, ending the cycle, or lowering excess. Peace is not always found by understanding people more. Sometimes it is found by allowing less chaos near you. Still, do not blame everyone else for your unrest. That is another trap. Maybe they were wrong, but your reaction is still yours. Maybe life was unfair, but your training is still yours. Maybe the past injured you, but the present asks what you will build now. Responsibility is not blame. Responsibility is power returned to your hands. Blame says they made me this way. Responsibility says, now I will train differently. Blame waits for the past to apologize. Responsibility breathes and begins. Blame repeats the wound. Responsibility studies the wound and refuses to let it become a throne. You may not control what happened, but you are responsible for what you keep practicing. Practice presence. When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you listen, listen. When you work, work. A scattered mind lives everywhere except here, and then wonders why life feels empty. Presence brings the mind back to one point. One point becomes power. Power becomes calm. Calm becomes clarity. Clarity becomes right action. If you cannot be present in small moments, you will not be calm in large moments. The battlefield reveals the training, it does not create it. Train while washing your hands. Train while waiting. Train while listening to someone speak. Train while doing simple work. Keep returning. The mind becomes steady through many small returns, not one heroic event. There will be days when you fail. You will react. You will speak too fast. You will overthink. You will return to an old pattern. Do not dramatize it. Review it. What triggered you? What did you believe? Where did the body tighten? What would have been wiser? Learn, correct, continue. Shame wastes energy. Honest review creates growth. Do not hate yourself into peace. Self-hatred is still violence. It may sound disciplined, but it usually produces fear and hiding. Speak to yourself like a strict but honorable teacher. This is not the standard. Stand up. Begin again. Firmness without cruelty. Compassion without excuses. That is the voice that builds a strong human being. Calmness must survive success as well as failure. Failure can disturb you through shame. Success can disturb you through pride. Praise can become a drug. Attention can inflate the ego. Achievement can create fear of losing. Stay centered. Receive praise, but do not live for it. Receive criticism, but do not die from it. Let both pass through clean hands. The deeper your calm becomes, the more humble you must become. Do not use calmness to feel above others. You were reactive before. You were afraid before. You were controlled before. Remember this. Let your calm make you patient, not proud. A steady person does not need to announce steadiness. A flame does not explain that it is warm. The purpose of calm is not to look spiritual. The purpose is to become useful, clear, and free. Your family does not need your uncontrolled anger. Your work does not need your scattered attention. Your future does not need your excuses. Your body does not need constant alarm. Your heart does not need old poison. Your purpose deserves a steady instrument. When the day becomes difficult, reduce the problem. Do not ask, how do I fix my entire life? Ask, can I take one conscious breath? Yes, take it. Can I relax my shoulders? Yes, do it. Can I choose one wise word? Yes, choose it. Can I take one honest step? Yes, take it. Great change often enters through a small obedient action. You are not trying to become emotionless. You are trying to become unpossessed. Feel fully, but do not be owned. Care deeply, but do not be chained. Work intensely, but do not be desperate. Love sincerely, but do not. Calm person is not empty. The calm person is ordered. Everything has its place, and nothing unworthy sits on the throne. Make your mind a place where truth can sit. Clean it daily. Remove the dust of resentment. Remove the smoke of comparison. Remove the clutter of useless fear. Remove the sharp objects of self-hatred. Do not expect peace in a room you never clean. Inner cleanliness is a discipline. It is practiced through silence, honest action, right speech, and restraint. When someone tries to pull you into their storm, remember, you do not need to attend every invitation to chaos. You can listen without absorbing. You can care without carrying. You can support without sacrificing your center. Compassion without boundaries becomes exhaustion. Boundaries without compassion become coldness. Hold both. The mind often asks for certainty before it moves. Life rarely gives it. Move with uncertainty beside you. Courage is not the absence of shaking. Courage is taking the step while the hands still tremble. Calmness is not waiting until fear disappears. Calmness is breathing so deeply that fear no longer drives the vehicle. The next time panic rises, do not say, something is wrong with me. Say, training has arrived. The next time anger rises, do not say, I must explode. Say, training has arrived. The next time you feel ignored, delayed, rejected, or misunderstood, say, training has arrived. This changes the relationship. The situation is no longer only suffering. It becomes a doorway. Walk through the doorway, one breath at a time, one pause at a time, one clean word at a time, one kept promise at a time, one refusal to betray yourself at a time. You do not become calm because nothing happens. You become calm because everything can happen, and you still know how to return to the breath, return to the body, return to the truth, return to the next correct action. Return when you forget, return when you fall, return when you are tired, return when you are tempted, return when nobody sees. The path is not perfection. The path is returning until returning becomes your nature. There is a version of you beneath the noise that does not need to beg for peace. It stands. It breathes. It sees clearly. It does not chase every thought or wrestle every opinion. It does not let old pain write today's behavior. It is firm without cruelty, soft without weakness, focused without tension, and quiet without fear. That version is not reached through wishing. It is reached through training. So begin now. Not when the world becomes gentle. Not when every person understands you. Not when the past finally feels fair. Begin with this breath. Let it enter. Let it go. Let the body know you are here. Let the mind learn that it does not need to run. The storm may still be outside, but inside you can build a place that does not collapse. Again breathe. Again return. Again choose. The world may stay loud, but you do not have to become loud within it. The situation may be difficult, but you do not have to become chaos. The future may be uncertain, but uncertainty is not a command to panic. Stand in the center of yourself. Guard the gate. Train the mind. Protect the breath. Let calm become not a mood, but the way you meet life. Do not wait for a crisis to discover whether you are trained. Crisis only reveals the habits you practiced in private. If you practice impatience in small delays, you will not suddenly become patient in great uncertainty. If you practice resentment in small disagreements, you will not suddenly become compassionate in deep conflict. If you practice escape in small discomfort, you will not suddenly become brave when life demands courage. Repetitions decide your visible strength. This is why ordinary moments are sacred. The line at the store, the slow reply, the difficult task, the tired evening, the mistake that embarrasses you, the person who speaks sharply, the plan that changes without warning. These are not interruptions to your peace. They are invitations to prove whether your peace is real. Do not waste them by reacting automatically. Use them. Let each small irritation become a bell calling you back to awareness. There is no shortcut around practice. You cannot purchase a calm mind. You cannot borrow it from a teacher. You cannot receive it from a quote. You can only build it through repeated contact with yourself. Sit with the breath when you want to run. Speak truth when the ego wants performance. Rest when pride wants to prove. Work when laziness wants comfort. Release when attachment wants to grip. This is how the inner world becomes organized. And remember, calmness is not a final destination where you never struggle again. It is a skill you keep sharpening. Some days the blade is clear, some days it is dull. Sharpen it again. It is repetitive and private, but the reward is enormous. You stop being tossed around by every person, problem, memory, and mood. You become someone who can be trusted with pressure. When you can be trusted with pressure, life opens differently. People feel safer around your presence. Work becomes cleaner because attention is not leaking everywhere. Decisions become wiser because panic is not holding the pen. Even pain becomes useful because you can listen without drowning. This is the dignity of a trained mind. It turns experience into wisdom instead of another chain.